What's up, everyone? Today we're going to be going over something that you really should take care of on your Mark III Supra. If you just purchased it, or if you have it just kicking around. Last episode, when we were talking about the purchase of a Mark III Supra, I was talking about the red car, and even when you're right, you could be wrong with your head gaskets. So if you're interested in dealing with head gasket issues when you purchase the car, even if someone told you, hey, I already did the head gasket, do it yourself. Up here, there's a little link to that video. This video is all about making sure water stays out of your car, even if you think it's all right now. I've owned this black car for the better part of 12, probably going on 13 years, something like that. And the biggest issue I have now is I was matching the color of the interior with the target top one, and unfortunately now the weather stripping is leaking. And then there was one that was leaking that I didn't know about. It wasn't leaking when I first got it, and the trunk spare tire well was pristine when I bought it, and now there is a pretty sizable rust hole there, unfortunately, and we have to deal with that. That could have been avoided is if I had replaced the tail light weather stripping back when I first bought it, but I didn't. I wasn't thinking about it because it wasn't leaking at the time, but unfortunately storing it outside, even on a gravel driveway, doesn't matter if the rain's penetrating through the top. So let's go ahead and first start off with the target top, and then we'll take care of the trunk as well as the tail lights. All right, guys, starting with the roof, we have a couple of parts right here. This is the weather strip roof 62383 14052, and that is your right side. And then weather stripping roof R2384 14052. Again, I'll put the parts numbers in the description. Big shout out to Toyota for still making these things. I can't remember how much I paid for these, but I can't believe they still make them. So again, I have them labeled here for my own insanity. My own sanity. This is right. This is left, which will actually kind of stick like that. Then we have this right here, which based off the look of it, I believe is the front. Roof front. Yep. The part number for this is 63251-14061. So that's going to be here, and then this guy, by product of elimination, should be the rear. And look at that, to rear. All right, this one's 63252-14032. We'll stick that there. Pretty straightforward. We're going to want to remove the roof. You should know how to take your own target top off. 2 bolts in the back, 2 bolts in the front, emergency exits on the side, life preservers underneath your seat. If you still have this tool, that's awesome. If not, I think this one's actually from like Ace. I don't know. I don't know if you can see me, but if you can hear me, I always use the back first, then the fronts, vice versa. When I'm tightening it in, backs first, then the fronts. Don't tighten them down all the way until you got all 4 started. And then send it right to the moon. Now I tried sealing this up with some, whatchamacallit there, petroleum jelly in the meantime. That didn't work. Oof. Well, that didn't come out as well as I was hoping. It's in here. It's really dry rotted. I mean, it's really dry rotted. They just pop in there with these like little rubber rivet thing. Apparently this is inside of one of them. Surprise! Yeah, you see it's just coming apart. Nothing to see here. And then from here, screws, hold them in. We're gonna go ahead and pull those out. All right, guys, again, make sure all this is cleaned up beforehand. This already comes with its own protective stuff, but if you feel like you want to add a little bit, you can always pick up some stuff from Honda, believe it or not. They make a pretty good compound you can put on it. I had it in reverse. Yeah, there we go. Whoop. Oopsies. I didn't mean to do that. So you're going to want to go ahead and put this in the appropriate location, like so. Get your sticky stuff off. It's I don't know, kind of like Armor All. That's what it kind of feels like. Got two little pop things here. Line them up. Okay, don't push them in quite yet. Happy with all this. Not pointy side. Start with the back, push the front in. Should go in very nicely and very easily. Cool. Throw our screw in, work our way to the other side. Alright, so as you can see, this one's actually really nice. You go over this one, you can see just how cruddy this one has gotten over the years. But one screw right behind here, this pulls right out. I like to use the interior tool for that. And then two little poppers right here. And again, just pop it right out. It's like little plastic pop rivets. Another screw here, two up here. We're going to do those real quick. And then we have these, which are right here. So let's take care of this. So once you get especially for the target top, you're going to have these trim pieces that hold the target or sport roof in the car. You're going to want to take all of the screws and tabs off of this, and you can hinge it out away from there. Make sure you get all of the screws out of this piece on the front end, but for the most part you can just hinge it out of the way. You can remove it. It's just why go all the way if you don't have to. Accessing these 6 bolts is an 8mm. Already loosened one up. I'll show you what it looks like. Oh, not bolts. I don't know why I call them bolts. They're nuts. The studs are on the actual taillights themselves. You can access these pretty regular or easily if you move your trim just in the right way. I think I'm on there. Yep, definitely on there. And just got 6. So I'm going to pull these out and we'll slide the tail light off and show you what we got. So what we're looking for right now is this guy right here. This is the right or the left rear. Where is it? Gasket. This one doesn't say it. The other one did say right rear, so this one must be left rear. Number is 81554145880. So that's what you're looking for that one right there, and it should just slide out. Now you can see, wow, you can see just how bad mine was right there. And that's where I was getting my water intrusion. Like I was saying, this is a critical gasket to keep water from going into your trunk area and rotting it out. So just pop that off, and we'll just clean this off real quick because that's pretty bad. I wanted to just show you how absolutely horrible this is before I cleaned it off. I mean, it didn't. This section was completely gone. So the water comes down the channel here and would normally just flow around it. Probably more along this line. Yeah, I would definitely say water probably goes like that. But instead it will dam behind here and then straight in. And this was doing absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's a shame I didn't replace it years ago. So learn from my my ignorance of not replacing this and replace yours, because you'll save yourself a whole bunch of headache down the future. So once you get your surfaces clean, you're going to want to take your gasket, your weather stripping, slide her on there. So it actually kind of looks like the only real difference between the two of them is this one right here. Someone put the double-sided tape on it, and you can actually see this is the right top, so if you're going to put this on the right side, and this one is the left top if you're going to put this one on the left one. So I'm assuming that is the big difference there. And our top is right here. Especially on these 89 models, make sure you don't break these tail lights. They are not cheap to replace. Slide that back in. I'm going to go ahead and re-plug in this because it's kind of a difficult thing to get to otherwise. And then make sure you get your sticky side on there. And you tighten it down. It's a beautiful thing. Well guys, I'm pretty excited about having the weather stripping in. It's something that I neglected for a long time. And realistically, this car has always been my test mule for a lot of the different types of stuff I wanted to do with Supras, and trying to get this thing to what I think is the perfect Mark III Supra. Right now, it is a really fun car. Like I said, I've been driving it for a couple days. Once the supercharger on it, this thing's going to be living up to its name as sovereign. The thing is already pretty much an animal. It's going to be a complete savage when this thing is done. Now, that's one thing that I've always been focusing on, was the engine, the drivetrain, and all this other stuff that I always forgot about. Some pretty critical things that seem small, but end up with some pretty bad results if you ignore them. Perfect example is I was trying to get this thing ready for my first race event, and it was up in Malta. I was really just hammering to try to fix the head gasket that was blown in this thing, and I get it halfway up there. It was supposed to be a beautiful day. Torrential downpour. Now, not only did I not check my windshield wipers, I also bypassed the heating cord. So not only did the windshield wipers just fold off of it and then scratch the crap out of the window, I also had no way to defog the window. So some things we got to think about. Drivability is very important. I like to drive my cars to the race event, not necessarily trailer it. So drivability is very, very important. Now, same thing with the weather stripping. It's something that I took for granted, and sure, the main cabin wasn't leaking until I started doing the interior recently, and which just aggravating the sport roof did create a leak. Now that leak is restored or repaired with the new weather stripping, but at some point between 12 years ago and now I only drove this for about 500 miles on a period of 12 years, because I was always trying to upgrade things, and I get sidetracked on other projects. But the rear taillight weather stripping failed, and you saw the result of that. You get the rust. So even though we love to focus on the performance end of things, make sure we cross our T's and dot our I's with the other things. Now, I've been doing some buyer guide stuff, whether it's, what you should be doing with the head gaskets. I went over the fact that they were the wrong torque specification from factory. If you're interested in more Mark III Toyota stuff, make sure you head over to Faye Hadley. Samantha is a big fan. My 3-year-old daughter is a big fan of hers. She's a huge Mark III super fan like myself. She also has a tattoo of it on her arm, I guess. So, big fan of the Mark III. And she goes over all kinds of stuff. Samantha calls her the Princess the Car Fixer Princess. So if you want to go see the Car Princess Fixer, Faye Hadley covers a lot of Mark III stuff. So whether you're coming here because they have Mark III stuff, or maybe I piqued your interest in the Mark III, there's a lot of great content creators out there that are working on them. A lot of them are 1JZ swaps or 2JZ. Mine is a 1UZ. We are going to, I'm going to prove that the 1UZ is a better swap in these than the 2J. I'm going to buy a third Supra and put a 2JZ swap in it. And if I'm wrong, I guess we'll find out, but at least I'll put my money where my mouth is. So if you like this content, you want to follow, whether you like old muscle cars, whether you like some import stuff, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. And if you're looking to support the channel, head over to Blacktop Yacht Club, link in the description down below. You can pick up merchandise, whether it's our main logo with that ridiculously awesome Buick GS, well, that one in particular is a Skylark with my GS components on it, or we have some satellite stuff. If you're interested, make sure you head over there. We have stickers. Go nuts. I appreciate it. Till next time, keep your shiny side up, and God bless.